do your little intro
Yeah, you say it right after I press record. You do the intro.
right now? It's episode 101.
A fresh Floppies.
I'm fresh, and he's floppy.
I am so... Bleh. What's up to all our sidekicks and henchmen out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently listening to Fresh Floppies, episode 101. And it's a show, if you're new here, it's a show where Noel and I discuss the books, the books that came out this week without spoilers, except Noel is being a POS, and he's like, I have to work. And so now Jeremy's here.
Yeah, because I'm less of an adult.
Yes.
Hi.
Me too. So we're here to talk about comics, and we're going to start right as soon as I'm done with this email. Oh, I zigged. You thought I was going to zag? Fresh Floppies is the name of the email. It's from Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight. And he says, the outrage over the new Red Hood book is hysterical. The book is nearly 3 months out, and people are livid. There is the outrage about his costume, justified. The outrage that other characters like Zatanna or The Question or Blue Beetle, who has had 3 failed ongoings in the 23 years I've been reading comics, don't currently have ongoings. And the outrage that the Huntress is in the books as a side character instead of on her own book or with the Birds of Prey, and may or may not be dating him. I did not see that mentioned in the article I read, he says. Between this and the outrage over the new Black Panther twist, it makes me glad I don't read the big 2. By that he means DC and Marvel. This is the Captain America Hail Hydra fiasco all over again. Anyone who thinks the Black Panther thing is gonna last at all needs to have their head examined. What's something you would overreact to that they could announce that would be so awful that you would immediately snap rather than wait for the explanation? Chris St. Saucy, good night. Yeah, here's the thing. The internet gets really mad very quickly about every single thing that ever happens. So I take that with a grain of salt. However, great question. Jeremy.
Me.
Hi.
Hey.
What's something you would overreact to if you found out?
I think, all these characters change and do different things throughout the years, and that's fine. It is what it is. But I think the only character change that I would be genuinely angry about is if Wolverine became a creep. And what I mean by that is like throughout the years, he's always, angry and troubled and whatever. And throughout the years, he's been a mentor to so many younger people. And in the comic industry and the characters themselves, so many people get creepy in the name of fan service and everything. Mm. But like Wolverine never has. And I think that's just, I don't know why he's a character that sticks out to me of just like an awesome, helpful, cool dude, even though he is angry as hell all the time.
Yeah.
If
has murdered so many people. So many.
No, but that's fine.
It's cool.
Just don't be creepy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if there was anything written where Wolverine started just being a shitty old dude, just started being
just
creepy.
gooning.
Yeah, if Wolverine became a troublesome gooner, then I would have a real problem. Okay, I think is my answer.
That's a good answer. Troublesome gooner. I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do is goon. For me, I've already been through all of these over the decades. Like, they got rid of the marriage with Peter and MJ. God, what else? People have been good, they've been bad, they've gone back and forth. I just kind of roll with it now. It's just,
I think you have to.
That's kind of all you can do. Or just, if you don't like it, don't read it, and then come back when they change it back inevitably, Yeah. So I don't know if there's anything, like, even for me, I don't know if you know what he's talking about, the Captain America Hail Hydra.
I have small context. He was an agent for Hydra for a little while, right?
There was a thing that happened with the Cosmic Cube that rewrote his history that said he was always a sleeper agent for Hydra.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it's revealed in modern day that he, that he was that. And then I think he throws like Bucky out of a plane or something, kills him or something like that.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember. Not Bucky. Another dude. God, what's his name? Anyway, doesn't matter. So, and so many people were very upset that I actually lost 2 customers from my shop because I was not mad enough.
Really?
My take on that was, It's the first issue of a new story. I'm curious where it's going.
Yeah.
We'll find out. And they were just like, well, I'm not comfortable shopping here anymore because I wasn't outraged.
That's
so they
insane.
stopped coming here because I wasn't mad at Captain America. And it was a couple. It was like a husband and wife. And I went, well, I appreciate your honesty. Thank you so much. Hope you keep reading comics. That was all I can do. But yeah, they were very upset that I did not get as upset as they were.
I can see hating the story or hating that concept, but yeah, getting mad at somebody else who's reading it in a world where things go in and out of canon constantly.
Yeah. I was
crazy.
like, in a long enough timeline, this will never have happened.
Yeah.
And we're already there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't get all worked up about stuff like this. I just, that's a neat idea, or it's not, and I don't read it, or I do. Yeah, I don't get online. This is me angrily typing. Thank you so much, Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight, for emailing us. You can email us also out there if you're not Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Let's get on to our books. That's a good jingle. Thank you. Captain America: Our Secret Wars Part 1. This is a brand new Captain America series that's just starting. It's Legacy issue 772 by Chip Zdarsky and I want to say Valerio Schiti with Frank Martin on colors and VC's Joe Caramagna on letters. I started I think it was J. Michael Straczynski was writing it. And I read the first issue and I was like, this is fine. And then didn't read any other issues after that.
We're talking about the last Captain America run.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the same for me. I picked it up. I don't even think I picked it up. I think I pirated like the first one or two copies. And I was like, meh. And then didn't. That was before I was more dedicated to comics and I do not pirate them.
And the most recent one was a Sam Wilson Captain America miniseries because of the movie that came out, and it's him against the Red Hulk. I did not read that either. I'm not a big Cap guy, honestly. But I am a Zdarsky guy.
Fair, yeah.
So I was like, Cap America, all right, I'll read this shit. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot more than I anticipated because honestly, the opinions that I feel like a lot of people hold about Superman, I have those feelings for Cap, where it's just like, oh, he's just a good guy. Just the goodest boy, and good for him. And that's cool. And I'm not against that, but, as I was proven wrong with Superman, because before I got into comics, I held that opinion about him. I'm sure I'll eventually be proven wrong with Captain America. This doesn't prove that opinion wrong. However, it's still a very good comic.
Mm-hmm. No, I really like this. I enjoyed it a lot. Without spoiling it, it's basically it takes place in the past, which I was surprised by. We get a flashback, which then we get an even further flashback. Both timelines in this story are in the past.
Yes, both timelines are in the past, and what's well, I don't necessarily want to say that because that was a really cool moment for me, but it is clear very quickly that we are, very shortly after Cap came out of the ice. Yeah, is where Cap's story timeline starts. And
then we get another story about a different character that I don't think we've ever met. I don't believe so at all. Brand new guy, and we follow his trajectory as well. Really good first issue.
I'm trying to figure out why, or not figure out how to tell people why it is so good without spoiling it. But it is very good.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's pretty dang fresh, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe, is it the freshest of the week for me? Yeah, you know what? It's the freshest of the week for me. Hell yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna agree with you until I have a recency bias, so I'm going to agree with you until we talk about something else, and then I say that.
And then that'll be your favorite. Yeah, it's kind of like our favorite. Noel and I, our joke is our favorite ultimate book or absolute book. Yeah. Our favorite absolute book is the most recent absolute book. So if you're looking for a good Captain America to jump onto, number 1 comes out this week. Pick it up.
Yeah, very good story. And requires zero previous context.
If you're in a ska band, also. Pick it up. Pick it up. Ask your grandparents what ska was. Marvel did a new book. It's a one-shot. It's X-Men Hellfire Vigil. Do you know about the Hellfire Galas, Jeremy?
I do. I'm roughly halfway through the Krakoan era right now, so I'm fairly familiar. I think I've been through 2 or 3 Hellfire Galas at this point.
For anyone who doesn't know, during the Krakoa era of John Hickman's X-Men,
which is the era that stopped halfway through 2024?
Yeah. Every year they would do what's called a Hellfire Gala. and there was a lot of cool outfits and stuff, and it was basically just a big old party for the mutants on Krakoa.
And they would invite like other dignitaries and politicians and stuff.
Yeah. But now that all ended with the Krakoa going kaput. So I was surprised to see that we have a new Hellfire, but this is the Vigil. This is all the mutants coming together to mourn Krakoa and their previous freedoms. So I didn't know what to expect from this, but this is actually really solid. This is a good way if you're trying to find out what's going on with the X-Men, the different X-Men series.
Yes.
These are all of the creative teams of the other X-Men series. So there's Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, Jed McKay, Stephanie Phillips, Jeffrey Thorne, Gail Simone, Eve Ewing, etc., etc. And so you get a little taste of each of the series so that you can jump on if you're interested, which is kind of cool. This is done in a really smooth way.
You know, I didn't think about it in that context of this is providing people information on each line.
Yeah.
And then even at the end, it says follow the X-Men in all these 6 different
Titles.
Yeah, titles of X-Men right now, which for context, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, Phoenix, Storm, and Astonishing X-Men, which I think Astonishing is the
That confuses me.
I think the in-app
series,
which
thank you.
I don't love, but that's a different issue.
Okay.
Not that I don't love the
What's
series, I haven't read it.
Astonishing X-Men?
But I don't love physical comics pointing you towards the app. But anyway, that being said, this comic does combine all of the teams and prominent characters from those series, gives you scenes with them, some insight into their characters, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, man, this was solid. I like it. And you also get kind of one of my favorite things about the X-Men is when they're just hanging out.
Me too.
Back in the day, we would call them baseball issues because like once a year there would be just like hey, they're hanging out at the Xavier Mansion backyard playing baseball. So we get a little bit of that here where a bunch of the mutants are going to see Dazzler, which is fun. And then, that does not go well. But yeah, seems kind of, is the word prescient with what's going on? People who, we used to have freedoms. And now we're kind of mourning our loss of some of our freedoms. And then also resistance has to happen and stuff like that. So,
and it's very much, a part of it that stuck with me is very much about, holding on to what you have, holding on to the hope to improve, and ensuring that you can hold that hope while still grieving for what was lost.
Yeah.
And balance those two. And I think anyway, very good.
Yeah, it rides that line. Really nice. Yeah, this is pretty fresh.
I agree.
What do you got? Why don't you do that one?
This guy?
That guy.
Gotham City Sirens, Unfit for Orbit. The last Gotham City Sirens series we got was, I want to say, last year. I was subscribed to it. I got every issue. I did not read a single one, not for any particular reason. It just didn't happen. But
that to be read pile is
to be read pile
haunting
is
you.
Massive, and it has been for a year and a half. However, reading this first issue of Gotham City Sirens, Unfit for Orbit, makes me really want to buy Leah Williams and hold on. Writer Leah Williams, artist Haining. Colors Yvonne Placentia.
Oh yeah.
And letters by Tom Napolitano. It's not that hard of a name. It's my problem, not theirs. But this makes me want to go back and revisit it because it's pretty much just the start of a heist.
Yeah.
With with Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and Poison Ivy. And something that I love about this, which I also loved about Exterminators from, I want to say, 2023, which was clearly an X book, also by Leah Williams. Leah Williams does an awesome job of writing friends. In my experience, from what I've read from her, specifically groups of women friends, and the dialogue being entertaining and funny and actually real and natural without being cringy and awkward and, for lack of a better term, very clearly written by a man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Now, mind you, this opinion is coming from a man, so I could be wrong. But I was raised with sisters, and I have enough women in my life that I'm okay with saying that I think this feels pretty real. That was honestly my favorite part of the book. It's just the fact that their conversations are genuinely entertaining. The story is perfectly fine. It's a heist. It's an interesting scenario. I will say, though, just disclaimer, which I don't think is a spoiler in my opinion. I thought they were going to be in space. They're not in space.
They're not in space.
Yeah, which is fine. It's not bad. But, if you wanted a little sci-fi backdrop, you're not necessarily going to get it to the degree that you thought.
Yeah.
But otherwise, great book. And I think it's only 5 issues, so quick thing to add to the list and pick up, and I definitely will be adding it to my list.
I agree. It's funny because there are things about this series that are male-gazy, even though it's written by a woman. It's not afraid to be sexy, is my point.
Right.
So like even when there's a little shot of them getting ready, there's just a close-up of Catwoman's butt.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And then they're having a Zoom chat with Poison Ivy to get her to join them, and she's in the middle of shenanigans with Janet, her like friend in her series. And what does she say? Harley says, "Ooh, hey, can I video call in a bit and watch you and Janet bumping beauties?" Maybe.
Yeah.
So like, it's not afraid to put it out there, which I like.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there are lines like that where when I come across them, I usually will flip to the cover and be like, "Who is this written by?" There.
Yeah.
Oh, Williams. Okay, that's fine.
It's cool.
I'll get better. I'll roll with it.
But yeah, Gotham City Sirens is fun. I do like her dialogue, her friendship dialogue. You're right.
Yeah.
I do like that a lot. And then the reveal at the end, I was like, "Oh, we're doing that guy? That guy shows up? All right. Do you even know that guy?"
I recognize that guy, but I think I mistook him for a Marvel guy, so I need to look into it.
Yeah. Okay. It is a guy that I was not expecting to show up in Gotham City.
We're talking about the last page reveal, which is why we're not giving you a name.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So while we're on the DC tip, I'll tell you what. Absolute Green Lantern #4. DC presents All In. Absolute Green Lantern #4 by Al Ewing and Lindsay Graham. Probably not, right? What is your name? Oh, Janoy Lindsay.
I really wish that the artist names were consistently on the front or the back page, not one of the two. And it's like, I can't find it.
Sometimes they're in the middle.
Yeah, true.
It drives me nuts. I have been kind of fine with this book, but it's interesting enough to keep me on it.
I agree. It is not it might be my least favorite of the absolutes, but that's not saying anything bad because the absolutes are just all pretty great. I think this book by far is the slowest burn of the series.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get to points where, as someone who has read 0 other Green Lantern books, I feel like some context, if only for names, would be helpful. But I have enough context that going forward with the mystery is not necessarily a problem yet.
Right.
But yeah, it is a slow burn.
I know all of the names that are being juggled around in here, and I think that helps me because I know what that guy's supposed to be and that guy is actually important and he'll probably show up later, et cetera, et cetera. So the fact that you don't know a lot of the names, I feel like would make my experience even worse. Like I don't even know who these people are.
There was this issue specifically. There's like one conversation where all of a sudden we're getting words or names. I don't know if they're words or names or
right.
but
because a lot of it's made up words.
Yeah, exactly.
Sir.
And it's like,
what does that mean? I don't know. Yeah.
Cool, I guess.
Abin Sur, for anyone who doesn't know, is the guy who comes to Earth with the Green Lantern ring and gives it to Hal Jordan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And he is this whole 4-arm tentacle head guy?
No, he looks He's never looked like this ever.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Because this looks like a Dragon Ball Z character.
Yes. Yeah, it sure does. Yeah. Very different version of the Green Lanterns and their core here, and also a different version of Black Hand. But it's also interesting, and also I really don't like the art. The art's not for me.
That's fair. I don't mind it particularly.
It's just it's manga influenced.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But it just yeah.
Maybe that's why he looks like a Dragon Ball Z character.
Yeah.
Because there's some close-ups that honestly straight up look like a still out of that show.
Yeah, the art's not for me. Although this cover's pretty gnarly.
Like that cover that you have is great.
Who did this one? This is Alex Ekman Lawn. Yeah, that's a great cover. Interesting enough that I keep reading it, but I'm not like, I can't wait to read the next one. As opposed to like Wonder Woman or Batman. I like those. This is pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty fresh.
What do you got? You got something?
What do I got?
Want to wrap it up?
We did Sirens, we did Cap, we did Green Lantern, we did X-Men. Oh, wow.
We didn't do that one.
We didn't do this one. Honestly, I can do both these. Anyway, Godzilla vs. Thor. One of the better one-shots I've read in a long time, personally.
By Jason Aaron.
By Jason Aaron. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The names are important. Give artists credit. Oh, no. But where are their names? It's not my fault. Here we are. Jason Aaron, writer. Aaron Cooter, artist.
Oh, Cooter. Nice.
Jesus, probably. Abertov, colorist.
Probably.
Letterer, Joe Sabino.
Nice.
And cover artists were some of those same people.
For some background, Jason Aaron wrote one of my favorite Thor runs ever.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So it's really cool that he's back on Thor.
Yeah, it's very good. I think the setup for how Godzilla is appearing is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
The obviously fight between Thor and Godzilla is it's a long fight, and it's
I'm
a
sorry.
very
I'm
good
opening the
fight.
first page and I'm seeing the
Yeah.
Punisher logo from. Whoa. Okay. Maybe I'll read this.
Yeah. How Godzilla comes about is very cool.
Oh, I'm gonna read this. Oh, this looks awesome.
And then at a certain point, we progress to almost like being led through it by is omniscient the word narrator, in a very Asgardian style, basically telling the story of how, not in a textbook way like some of the stuff we read last week, but telling the story of how Godzilla is fighting Thor and how Thor, does his Thor. It's very cool.
Nice.
It's a very fun book.
Oh, I'm gonna read that. I really liked his Punisher run. That some people. That's what a perfect example of what Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight was talking about in his email, wherein the internet lost its goddamn mind because of what Jason Aaron was doing with the Punisher in his most recent
Punisher,
series.
King of Killers.
That's the one.
Yep.
Which is awesome. Freaking love that book. And I was surprised. Well, not surprised, but yeah, to find out that the internet was mad about it. Where I was like, this is the most interesting thing to happen to Frank in a long time. This is very cool. So the fact that it makes an appearance here, I'm piqued. My interest. Yeah. I'll check this out. I'm not a Godzilla guy. I don't care about Godzilla. I read Godzilla versus Fantastic Thor, and that was cute enough.
Fantastic
Thor. And for anyone who doesn't know, each of these one-shots, Godzilla versus Marvel character, takes place in a different era. So the Godzilla versus Fantastic Four took place in, like, I would say the 60s, and was written in that kind of style and featured the original version of Godzilla, which was kind of cool. So each one is a different era, and it's leading up to Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, which is a miniseries.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do we know, is that miniseries supposed to combine these different?
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just
no
curious.
idea. Shrug.
Yeah.
You know what? Real quick, I didn't read ASM this week, but you've got it right there.
Yeah, I do. Black Cat is back.
I love her.
Black Cat came back one issue ago, which is number 6. This is Legacy 6 was Legacy 970. This is number 7, 971. By hold on, I had it. Joe Kelly, John Romita Jr. Inker, Scott Hanna. Honestly, first thing, I was not looking forward to the fact that Romita Jr. was coming back on ASM.
Same.
I don't know what it was. I actually did not mind this issue.
It's not bad Romita.
No, it is not.
There is bad Romita.
There's Gang Wars Romita.
Yeah.
Which was, if I'm going to complain, that's, I think, the only thing I've ever complained about comics, genuinely, is I just didn't like that art at all.
Yeah.
But we're good. This is fine. We are getting introduced to a weird, very strong new character who showed up in the end of the last issue. So his name is Hellgate. He looks like, as the comic puts it, an Elder Scrolls NPC. They're just shouting out IPs now. And this is primarily a fight between Spidey and Hellgate and trying to figure out how the hell he's going to handle that. And I'm interested to see where this goes. I don't think this individual issue was anything particularly special. But this feels, as someone who hasn't read Spider-Verse, this feels like we're getting into Spider-Verse territory of other worlds or universes or something. Because Hellgate seems to know who Spider-Man is to some degree. And Spider-Man is what?
Huh?
And that's, pretty
Okay.
much what we leave off.
That's nice. Yeah, I think one of the variant covers for Amazing Spider-Man #1 featured Hellgate.
It did, yeah.
Even though he wasn't I don't think he was even introduced in the first issue.
I don't believe so.
But it was just like, hey, this guy's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware. So I've been enjoying this run of Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reading this.
Yeah, I enjoyed the last arc with Hobgoblin and everything.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
And that art, I love that art.
That art was great.
That art was great. What is his name? Oh, Pepe Larraz.
Yes.
Love that dude. He's awesome. Anything you're looking forward to reading this week that you haven't read? There's a whole shelf over there.
What's on the shelf?
Bring on the Bad Guys, Avengers, Daredevil, Secret Six, Spider-Gwen. I think this is the last issue of Spider-Gwen, and they're about to reboot it with a new #1 with like a new costume, new powers even.
Yeah, they're calling it All New Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, right?
Is that what it is?
I
All
believe
new?
so.
So yeah,
and
I'm
it's
looking forward to that.
Side note, the like insert into one of these that I saw advertising that series said Brand New Day on it. Wasn't Brand New Day a whole storyline for Spider-Man like forever ago?
Yeah, it's like a hated storyline.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Forget I said it.
Yeah. People hated One More Day, and then Brand New Day is what took place directly after One More Day, where they dissolved the marriage between Peter and MJ, and then it became Brand New Day, where it's like, oh, he's slightly younger, and Harry Osborn is alive again, and oh, so that what you have in your hand is the Uncanny X-Men number
104.5.
Oh, that's a radio station. But it's by Christopher Claremont, and it's a prelude to
A Future Past.
Yeah, so I think it has to do with his original Days of Future Past miniseries, or not miniseries, but issues.
Yeah. Hold on, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to pick this up.
Yeah, it's got some like John Byrne art in there, which is nice. But anyway, all right, let's get the hell out of here.
Cool. Later, nerds.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later. Do-do-do.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.